Congratulations, you are born on Super Earth, the home of prosperity, liberty and democracy. As a citizen of Super Earth, you get to vote and enjoy all the wonders of managed democracy. However, freedom doesn't come free. One day, you will make the most important decision of your life. Do you have the strength and courage to join the Helldiver Corps? Or do you deny this chance at glory and bring dishonor to your family? Well, that day is still far away. For now, you get to enjoy life alongside your family. Being born in the capital of the Super Earth Federation, Prosperity City, means you get to grow up in the very heart of managed democracy. Your family consists of your loving mother, employed by the Sumi Corporation, where she ended up meeting your father, a proud Helldiver. After marrying, your parents end up having 3 children, your older brother, you, and your younger sister. In school, the Ministry of Truth teaches you about the history of Super Earth. The devastation of the last Great War has left parts of the Northern Hemisphere uninhabitable. Democracy won, and no human will ever betray your liberty again. The most important topic, of course, is the creation of the Super Earth Federation, as well as the many martyrs and heroes who fought to create and protect the freedoms you enjoy today. As a young child, your parents share stories about their service to Super Earth. Your father was at the forefront of the fight against anyone who dared to threaten managed democracy. Your mother, a yogurt saleswoman, ended up fighting alongside your father as the Sumi Corporation eagerly fulfilled the yogurt needs of frontline soldiers. The galaxy is a big place. Everyone has to do their part to protect Super Earth. When you are eventually taught about the First Galactic War, you begin to truly understand the dangers that lurk in outer space. This war would see the mass deployment of Helldivers to contain the threats that sought to undo the freedom created by the Federation. The hardest pill to swallow, however, is when tragedy strikes your family. One day, after returning home from school, right after you learned about the heroism of the Helldiver Corps, your parents share some devastating news. Your older brother, who joined the Helldivers just like your father, has become a martyr in the name of democracy. He died just 2 minutes into his first deployment against a rising dissident faction in the Galactic West. Your father explains that this brief life expectancy is typical for anyone in the Helldiver Corps. On your 16th birthday, you are given a birthday gift on behalf of Super Earth, the R2124 Constitution. You and every other child who turns 16 are given this rifle and encouraged to join the armed services of Super Earth. Yet the death of your brother still lingers, as he promised to take you out hunting on your birthday. Your mother considers it a momentous occasion, but your father remains oddly silent, staring into space. After you finish high school, you begin to notice certain things. Voting is not done by choosing a candidate. Instead, an algorithm selects the perfect candidate for you, based on a couple of questions used by the voting terminals. You also find yourself in one of the most dangerous eras of Super Earth history. Dissidence is on the rise, and the galaxy is on the edge of another war. The security you were promised as a child slowly begins to unravel. Stroman news contradicts itself, and the voting terminals, well, they are being regularly updated to better reflect what you, the voter, truly want, with even better candidate selections being offered all of the time. Before you can truly begin to question all of this, the Second Galactic War is announced. Super Earth is threatened by a terminate outbreak on one side of the galaxy, and an automaton invasion on the other. Dad immediately leaves to rejoin service, but for now, Mom decides to stay home with you and your sister. Yet you all know, the day will come when the Sumi Corporation asks her to pick up her weapons once again, and that day may come very soon. And if you thought this was the low point of your life, it is about to get so much worse. The Second Galactic War makes millions of Helldivers into martyrs, and the Federation of Super Earth suffers on all fronts. Freedom is threatened, and then they come. May 13th, 2185. The Illuminate Great Host emerges to attack Super Earth itself. Your own home is invaded, and undemocratic and freedom-hating aliens attack your neighbors and family all over Prosperity City. The fighting is intense. The president dies fighting for your freedom. 120 million Helldivers become martyred heroes to stem the tide, and among them is your father. It is in this very moment that you realize that this is what is happening all over the galaxy, that this is the true brutality of the Second Galactic War. Communities, cities and families torn apart by the ignorant hatred of aliens and robots. Millions of others have joined the war already. Many of your classmates and close friends have joined the armed forces to fight for democracy, and now it is your turn. You do not just fight for Super Earth, but you fight for the future of your younger sister and the generations of super citizens that will come after you. At first, you joined the army, but after 72 hours of training, your superiors decide your true fate lies with the Helldiver Corps. You don the black armor, are brought to an undisclosed location, and given 15 minutes of training. You run an obstacle course, dodge machine gun fire, get stabbed with a massive needle, and then get taught how to apply stims. Stims produced by Permacure do not have any officially recorded addictive side effects with continuous use, but you come to love the thrill of them very quickly. The training initially seems daunting, especially when you confront your first Terminids, but the legendary General Brash is here to guide you throughout the process. You will learn how to dive, fire your weapon, and eliminate bug holes. Your most valuable asset is the stratagem balls, which allow you to call in orbital bombardments, airstrikes, resupplies, new equipment, and reinforcements of more Helldivers. During this intense training, you face a harsh reality. Life is cheap on the battlefield, and many of your fellow recruits don't survive long enough to start their first mission. When you complete this training, you are given the iconic cape of the Helldivers, frozen alongside dozens, if not hundreds, of fellow recruits who passed their training and are prepared to be sent out for combat. As a Helldiver, you enter the battle with the cape you trained so hard to earn, and your iconic black armor is known as tactical armor, made from a strong titanium alloy. You will start out using the Sieve standard assault rifle, the AR-23 Liberator, but during your service, you will get to use a variety of weapons. For such a small weapon, the Liberator packs enough punch to take out the most common enemies you face in battle. However, when facing the enemies of Super Earth, your personal choice of weapon is the very Constitution used by your deceased brother. Yet all of this is but the first taste of what you get to see as a Helldiver. When you are unfrozen, you wake up aboard your very own super destroyer, a small, fast, yet very reliable ship. You are greeted by the ship mistress and democratic officer, who act as your guides during your deployment. Inside your ship, you can find the Pelicans, which will extract you from the many missions you will complete. Eagle 1, which will be one of your main sources of fire support, and the best part of all, the Hellpods, which will deliver you straight into the fires of battle. You will also have access to a variety of other weapons and armor. If you manage to serve long enough, you might even unlock a set of new stratagems. In your missions, the Super Destroyer can rain death on your enemies with its 380mm cannons, orbital lasers, and many other forms of orbital-based destruction. When encountering heavily armored enemies, you can also call down an expendable anti-tank weapon or the always reliable recoilless rifle. When facing endless hordes of enemies, the reliable MG43 and stalwart machine guns are all you need. But all of these weapons pale in comparison to the greatest asset of the Helldiver Corps: teamwork. You, alongside 3 other Helldivers, will work together. They are strangers, but you are all united in the common cause of fighting for Super Earth. Some of your squad mates are fresh recruits, others are grizzled veterans. You're almost certain that one of them even fought in the First Galactic War. You discuss with your fellow Helldivers where to go first, and one of the more experienced Helldivers takes the lead and offers the best recommended course of action. As a team, you share the task of completing the mission, and you also end up sharing boosters, which enhance the capabilities of the entire squad. Together, you pick a planet to liberate, prepare your equipment, and when your super destroyers are in orbit, you enter your Hellpods and go on your very first mission. As Helldivers, you and your squad get to choose where and when you deploy. High Command offers its major and minor orders, but manifest democracy aboard your vessel is commanded by you. The galaxy is a large place, and the different worlds you can fight on are varied. Sometimes you find yourself in a city, helping Sieve soldiers defend it. Other times, you might be deployed to a rocky colony world, where your mission is to evacuate civilians. Being the very elite of Super Earth, you are trusted to complete the most dangerous missions of all. At times, you will be dropped in the middle of an enemy base, expected to eradicate all enemies. Some of your proudest moments are saluting the flag of Super Earth as it rises above the shattered remains of your enemies. Something so special, it is even broadcasted to the people back home. Your father would be so proud of you if he could see you in those moments. Your favorite, of course, is securing, arming and firing an intercontinental ballistic missile, with which you let your enemies taste the wrath of Super Earth. The enemies you face are many and highly varied. The automatons are ruthless in their graggled voices. Their infantry troopers try to lay down suppressive fire, while brawlers and commissars come in close and personal. Their heavily armed units are perhaps the worst. Scout striders will chase you no matter where you go. Hulks are difficult to fight with their thick armor, and the waves of berserkers chase you as you fumble to reload your weapon. Your squad has to be quick on their feet. Anti-armor weapons are vital, and you will find yourself more than once calling in a broken arrow and dropping a 380 in the middle of an enemy assault. The automatons take the beauty of the galaxy and corrupt it with extreme pollution, placing factories without any regard for the local ecology. Their nefarious machines don't run on oil either. They use the blood of humanity to power their cold weapons of mass destruction. Your missions against the Terminids are quite different, however. The Terminids are a true horde, burrowing underground, flying in the air, and they will chase you. At first, they don't seem impressive. Their bile spitters and scavengers are small, and their warriors are only marginally more difficult to face. But the more you fight them, the more it dawns on you that their waves are almost endless. And among all that, the real challenge is the different types of bugs. Bile titans, dragon roaches, stalkers and hunters, to name but a few. Hive lords are perhaps the first enemy you encounter that makes you actually shake in your boots. Only with the help of your entire squad, focusing everything they have, can these menaces be stopped. Of course, there's the one enemy whom you hate the most. The one who took everything from you ever loved. The Illuminate are the most technologically advanced enemies you will ever face. Their overships blot out the sun. Leviathans and stingrays absolutely dominate the airspace over any battlefield. The Illuminate overseers are heavily armed and armored. Regular overseers knock you off your feet with their Pathfinder light spears in both ranged and melee combat. Elevated overseers manage to force you into cover, where you can quickly get boxed in by the artillery of Crescent overseers. But fighting these overseers is not the worst. You might even take joy in every single one of them you kill. But what truly rends your democratic heart apart are the voteless and flesh mobs. These are not aliens or automatons to gun down without remorse. No, these were all once fellow citizens of Super Earth, and the Illuminate turned them against you and took their votes away. The voteless will rush you in a blind madness, dozens at a time. People you might have called friends if the Illuminate did not turn them into abominations. You're pretty sure some of the voteless look up at the sky, looking for Helldivers to come and save them when they aren't rushing you. Alongside your squad, you face all of these enemies, fighting, diving, and dying in the name of democracy. Sadly, war and the chaos of the battlefield bring with them many unforeseen consequences. During a desperate retreat, your 500 kilogram has taken out one of your comrades, an unavoidable fact of war. Yet teamwork is the ultimate way through which democracy prevails. Wounding a squad mate is no cause for concern. In fact, you might even share your supply of stims to make things a-okay again. At the end of every mission, you and the ragged survivors of your squad are brought back to your super destroyer by Pelican 1. The sound of Pelican 1's suppressive fire as he arrives at the extraction always calms you, even if the enemy is about to overwhelm you. When you step back aboard your ship, you and your squad share a small moment of happiness. You laugh at the insane amount of ammunition you spend. One squad mate called in enough orbital bombardments to level a city block. and somehow he leveled 2 of those. Another managed to kill an overseer with the flat side of an entrenchment tool. The last arrival at the mission sadly arrived just in time to replace a fallen Helldiver and then board Pelican 1. Yeah, he was unfrozen, deployed, and then told just to leave again. The casualties were horrific, but democracy has prevailed. By the time you walk back into the bridge of your super destroyer, you can take pride in your work. The world you fought on has been fully liberated, but beyond this one is another world in the grasp of tyranny. Now that you have served as a Helldiver, you begin to understand why your father was always so quiet and reserved, and also why he did not hesitate to continue the fight for managed democracy. Your super destroyer has a screen on which you get regular updates on the state of the galactic war from Stroman News. General Brash also broadcasts valuable lessons and advice that have helped keep you alive. The Ministry of Truth can keep its facade of propaganda believable up until you see the rest of the galaxy. But you don't believe in dissidents. You have sacrificed way too much for that. The money you earn as a Helldiver, you invest right back into yourself. But an investment in your equipment is also an investment in the future of Super Earth. Everything you pass on in death will be used by the next Helldiver to be unfrozen. Your super destroyer could use some upgrades. Perhaps piloting an exosuit might be worth spending 20k requisition slips on. Maybe even getting a tank is worth it. You end up getting a warbond or two. You've always wanted to become a truth enforcer or obedient democracy support trooper, a show you always watched with your siblings. There are always more stratagems to unlock. Might as well make sure your next dive for democracy is done in style and with the very best weapons money can buy. You have learned much as a Helldiver. The most important lesson is, of course, that if you fail, dive. And if that does not work, dive again and again, again and again. You continue to complete mission and complete operations. You kill the enemies of Super Earth by the thousands. You climb the ranks and might reach the rank of 10-star general, or maybe even become a super private. Experience is everything as you begin to better understand your enemies. Their weaknesses are many, and you have a solution for everything. During your career, you will pull victory from the jaws of defeat on more than one occasion, and you will answer the SOS calls of fellow Helldivers in desperate need of reinforcements. Your arrival in the direst of circumstances is what it means to be free. You stop being the rookie, your squads change, many will die, perhaps a couple might retire and return to civilian life, and this is why you keep diving, to keep the torch lit for the next generation. You go out and participate in some of the largest offensive the Helldiver Corps will ever see, and you will lead many Sieve troopers into battle. They might not have your experience, training or equipment, but you're still impressed seeing them take out an enemy patrol without you needing to fire a single shot. Among your squad, there might be a tendency to mainly fight the automatons or terminates the most, but you, having survived an Illuminate invasion, have made them your personal enemy. But when given the opportunity to march on Cyberstan and burn the very homeworld of the cyborg and automaton who started this war, you take it. These socialist and heartless murder machines killed millions of your comrades. The time for vengeance is now. Let them face the wrath of the Helldiver Corps. You will go on to destroy their factory cities. Their monuments will be torn down. The one true flag shall be raised on the corpses of 700 million cyborgs and their disgusting machine children. You might not be a veteran of Malevolent Creek. You might not be trained on Mars and only joined after the battle for Super Earth was already won, but you understand what it means to be a Helldiver. You have entered the gloom, gone bug stomping on Osha Une, and fought on Seychelles Beach to save your fellow citizens from having their votes taken away from them. Or you might not have fought on any of these worlds. Perhaps your legacy will be different. Perhaps you will save those who believe in true democracy. But that day is now. This video was written by humans, drawn by humans and edited by humans. No AI was used making this video. So if you want to support this channel and help us fight these clankers, please hit that like button and subscribe if you like this video. Thanks guys.